Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net on Saturday the 20th of April. Thanks again for watching. As always, the site to get free of charge by the adverts you're seeing around the screen here. It's by you coming back to the site and using the site. That's what keeps us free of charge. Now, just a brief reminder that the dates for this year's weather schools have been released. So, if you go to weatherschool.co.uk, you'll come to this part of the website and it gives you all the dates for the weather schools, and it also tells you what they're all about. So if you fancy learning more about the weather, come along to one of the weather schools. I lecture them myself, and I'm sure you'll have a fantastic time. Okay, plugs over. Back to the weather. This is the GFS Ensemble Chart for the next 16 days. And what I want you to pick up from this is the general theme that we've had over the last few days of this rising temperature through this week, becoming very warm look through Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday before the temperatures fall off markedly into the weekend, leading into a cooler period in the beginning part of next week. Just this slow rise of temperature, possibly towards the bank holiday weekend. Also notice here, look, the amount of rainfall that we get to, that amount of rainfall increasing. Never a lot. This is the position for London, far more towards the north and the west, but just interesting to note more rainfall there than here during the early part of the week. So rising temperatures during the early part of this week, but then becoming much cooler by next weekend. And we've got good agreement from the models as well. This is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar heights, and this is valid from next Saturday through to Tuesday the 30th. And we've got the ECMWF here on the left, we've got the GFS on the right. And what to notice here, look, is the ridge across the eastern states and this deep trough through the UK and into Western Europe. Similar on the GFS, although it's flatter on the GFS. It tends to smooth things out more, but still got the ridge there, look, and the trough through there. Now, when we get these sort of troughs in position, they are quite difficult to clear away. So I think what's going to be happening is this ridge will build northwards, that trough will strengthen, it will dig southwards as a cold pool going into Europe, and I think that could bring the winds more into a northeasterly during the beginning of the week after next. Now, as I hinted at earlier, not much rainfall around during the coming week, at least until the end of the week. This is the position going through to midday on Friday, and you can see from most of England and eastern Wales, total rainfall is generally coming in still at around 2 to 5 millimetres. More rain across southwestern parts of England, Wales, the northwest, parts of Scotland too in this zone here. Predicting there around about 10 to 15 millimetres, and that's probably not too far wrong. But further west, you can see again much more rainfall, generally in the 25 to 50 millimetre category during the next week. And I think that overall pattern probably isn't a bad one. Just one thing to notice from this look is just this a little bit here of extra rainfall East Anglia in the southeast. Now that's because of the northerly wind that sets in towards the end of the week, perhaps driving in some showery outbreaks of rain much later. But generally, look, very little rainfall ahead. So let's take a look at the weather pattern then over the coming days. This is the chart for midday on Sunday, and we've got a trough here, look, in the 500 millibar flow. You can see there with a ridge out here in the Atlantic. Now, that trough is moving its way eastwards quite quickly. It's got a cold front at the surface associated with it, and it'll bring rain into the north and the west of the country during the course of Sunday, much drier to the east and the south. Now, as I said, temperatures are going to be rising during the course of this week, so we're just going to jump forward through to Wednesday. That ridge that was out in the west has now built its way across the UK, across the southern parts of the UK and into Europe. But the jet stream is still here. It's still flowing just to the north of Scotland, and it's going to be bringing more rain across northern and western Scotland. But, as I said, I think Tuesday and Wednesday of this week do look as if they are going to be very warm days. Warmest conditions down to the south, but by complete contrast, by the end of the week, this is the chart for the 26th, so this is the chart for Friday. Just look what's happened. Our ridge has collapsed out here to the east. We've got another one of these transitory troughs coming through, and also a ridge again out towards the west. Now, this ridge is a little more, this one is a little more strong, and what that's going to do is push this flow northeastwards. It's going to drive this northerly flow down through the country, bringing those cooler and more unsettled conditions that we saw. Now, the result of that and that feed of cold air going into Europe, I think, during the longer term, is that it's going to accentuate this trough look. You see how it's becoming sharper there? And also notice the centre of low pressure that the model is trying to form. Still got the ridge out here in the Atlantic, but with those northerly winds feeding in this cold air all the time, it pulls in more of a northeasterly flow, bringing some rain across the east and the southeast. Then by the 1st of May, so this is going to be by Wednesday the 1st of May, look, the low is out here across Europe. There is our trough, and as I said, those troughs are reluctant to go anywhere. There's the real ridge continuing to pump warm air up here, so it will tend to build the heights here, but the heights will lower in here. The result of that is a strengthened northeasterly wind. So it's hinting at eastern and southern parts of the country, just always seeing this risk of showers or outbreaks of rain coming in as we head in towards the bank holiday weekend, but drier out towards the west. The emphasis really is going to be on these cooler conditions. And then looking forward towards the 4th of May. So this has taken us well into the bank holiday period. This is actually Saturday the 4th. And what you notice here, look, is this trough is actually trying to retreat a little bit further west, if anything, with the ridge out here. I don't think that's going to be the pattern that happens. I think what we'll find is that the low stays down here and clears away. We find a ridge that builds in across the top up here somewhere, and what we will find is high pressure building up here, low pressure to the south, and a generally northeasterly flow. So I think we do have to accept that we're going to go into a cooler period during next weekend and into the beginning of the week after. I think that could last for probably 7 days or so, perhaps even 7 to 10 days. But the CFS picking up quite nicely on that too, look, and this gives us some confidence in the CFS. Here's the temperatures rising this week. Look, there they are falling off into next week and then picking up slowly into the week after. And then what it's showing is fairly flat temperatures through into the beginning of May, then tending to pick them up into the middle to the end of May. So at the moment, we can go with this CFS idea, look at this slow rise in temperatures after the week after next, and then probably getting into nearer normal temperatures through much of May. So hopefully that's useful for you. Once again, thanks for watching weatherweb.net. And don't forget that the adverts are here to keep the site free of charge. And it's your support in coming back to the site that helps keep us free of charge too. So for now, thanks for watching and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.